cannot believe what just came out about Amber Heard. Now, I'm aware everybody and their mother has already done this and I'm behind, but if you're unaware, if you don't make it to the end of my videos, it's usually where I say that I am very pregnant. My son's actually due this month. It hasn't been as easy for me to get these updates out as quickly as it is for probably a lot of other YouTubers. This is my recap of the end of week 3 if you want to hear my opinion and my thoughts on it, if you've heard those things already. And I also have quite a few people comment and tell me that you guys wait until my video to see what's going on, which I really appreciate, and I think that that is so awesome. So today we're going to be talking about the end of week 3 with the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. If you want to get caught up with all my videos that I've done about it so far, I will have a playlist linked down below. I would go watch it because there is some juicy stuff in there. Before I get into this recap, I need to talk about something that just came out in the news that had me shook, and I'm going to ask you guys a question about this because there's something that I immediately thought when I heard this that I'm curious what you guys think about it as well. So this just came out that Amber actually fired her entire PR team. Not only did she fire them, but she fired them just a few days before she is allegedly supposed to testify. I've been hearing that she may actually be on the stand on Tuesday, which is when I think that I'm gonna have this video posted. So keep that in mind if you guys watch this video. I haven't seen anything with Amber Heard's witnesses or with her yet. It's a little bit suspicious that she fired her PR team right before she's about to testify because apparently, or allegedly should I say, she doesn't like the bad press that she's been getting. On the New York Post, it says that Amber doesn't like bad headlines, according to a source, and that she's frustrated with her story not being told efficiently. To make this even more interesting, the PR team that she hired apparently has gone against Johnny Depp before. So you cannot tell me that that is not intentional. It says that the firm, which is led by CEO David Shane, helped highlight allegations that were lodged by Johnny's former business managers, the management group, alleging that the Pirates of the Caribbean star needed to hire a shrink for his compulsive spending habit of $2 million per month, which I find very interesting considering we're going to be talking later in this video about how Amber Heard got like over $100,000 off of Johnny Depp just towards her wine habit because she liked a wine that was $500 a bottle, but whatever. I find this to be interesting for numerous reasons. One, I don't really know what she thinks a new PR team is going to do for her other than maybe manipulate and twist things to work in her favor. I just watched Allen versus Pharaoh the other day, and they had a really great part in one of the episodes of this docuseries where it showed how the media gets manipulated and twisted in favor for one or the other depending on who they want to target. They'll send mass emails to every single news outlet basically outlining this is what we want you guys to be posting about. So I'm anticipating that with her hiring a new PR team, we may potentially be seeing more headlines and things that are going a little bit more in favor of Amber, which is perfect timing considering she's testifying this week, allegedly. I mean, what better time to hire a new PR team that's going to push things in your favor when you're about to testify against all of the things that we've heard in the past 3 weeks. And I've been excited to hear her testimony because I can't imagine what she's gonna say, so I want to hear her speak. But here's the question that I have for you guys. Here's what I want to bring up before we get into this recap of week 3. Now, this is just a source that said this, so this is alleged, but how is she upset about the bad press that she's been getting when she's not supposed to be looking up anything having to do with this trial? As we saw in week 1, I think it was week 1, maybe week 2, one of Johnny Depp's witnesses was actually removed in the middle of her testimony, and the jury was told to basically ignore everything they heard with her because they found out that she was watching stuff having to do with the trial before she got up there to testify. I don't understand how Amber had that whole issue with the makeup palette. I guess it's because we have to wait to hear her testimony about the makeup palette and see if she even discusses it before she can get in trouble for perjury with that. Apart from that, her hiring a new PR team tells me she's looking up stuff having to do with this. You shouldn't know you're getting bad press because you're not supposed to be looking this stuff up. You're supposed to be spending 6 weeks not looking up this stuff. I mean, this girl's just straight up cheating. The first thing I want to talk about are these police officers that were witnesses to the May 21st, 2016 incident, the one where Johnny Depp allegedly threw a phone at Amber Heard's face, leaving the bruises on it that we have seen. She had filed for divorce after this alleged incident had taken place, and then a few days after that, she went back and filed a restraining order, and that is when these photos were taken of her with this bruising on her face. And I find it interesting because all of the police officers that saw her the night of this alleged incident said she had been crying, so her face was red, but she had no bruising. None. So it was asked, how do you know she didn't have makeup on when you came in there? Number one, if you're bawling, your makeup is gonna come off, but why would Amber put makeup on inside of her home doing nothing, just chilling at home, but not put makeup on when she was going in to file a restraining order? I also want to mention that she went and filed a restraining order against Johnny, but in all of the audio recordings we hear, we never hear Amber trying to get away from Johnny. We never hear Amber trying to leave and Johnny being like, no, baby, don't leave. We never hear him attacking her because she's trying to get away. We always hear Johnny trying to get away from her. He doesn't want to be around her. He wants to leave. He wants to get away from the situation. But she's the one that goes and gets the restraining order. On top of the fact that we learn through Johnny's ex-agent that she had contacted him, essentially begged him to set up a meeting between the two of them while she had the restraining order.
Around that time, she wanted me to arrange for them to get together in person.
And what did you do after that was requested of you by Ms. Heard?
I talked to Johnny about it.
What happened after that?
He was reluctant at first and then agreed.
And then what happened after that?
I mean, this is a long time ago, but I remember there was a fair amount of discussion about the TRO and how we would deal with that because nobody wanted Johnny accused of violating the TRO.
Which was the incident where she had recorded him trying to hurt himself. It was that incident she begged to see him. To be honest with you, I think that this entire situation is such an insult to victims of domestic violence because it's not easy to get a restraining order. So when somebody gets one and then they act like this, and I know that there's tons of different situations where, you know, it's not always, you know, black and white. It's not always easy to get away from somebody that has been manipulating you in abusive situations. But I'm talking about this situation specifically with how we've heard her behave. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't line up. It is one thing after the other with Amber of just things where anybody who at the beginning was trying to believe her, she's made it impossible to believe anything that she says. Anyways, immediately upon this fight where Amber alleged that Johnny Depp threw a phone at her face, leaving these bruises, police officers showed up. This was May 21st, 2016. There were two sets of officers. All of them say she didn't have markings on her face.
Did you have any reason to believe that Amber Heard created any injuries to herself or to the property at the time you were there on May 21st, 2016?
No, because I don't recall seeing any damaged property or her obtaining any injuries or having visible injuries that I saw.
During the interviews and throughout the entire investigation, I'm constantly scanning her and watching. So if I see any other observations that would indicate any injury or domestic violence.
And did you see anything like that?
I did not.
And you didn't see... Did you see anything like that during the entire time period that you were on that call? And do you believe that you had enough time viewing Ms. Heard to determine whether or not she had sustained any injuries?
Yes, I do.
And did you determine that she sustained any injuries?
I determined that she did not sustain any injuries.
When they arrive at Johnny's penthouse, we see that there is no damage done to the penthouse. Everything looks perfectly fine.
Okay. Who's Amber? You? Okay. And Johnny?
Is definitely not here.
He's not here? Okay.
Probably like 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Everything's all good then? Alright. If you guys need anything else, just call us back.
I mean, yes, could they have cleaned it up? I suppose so. I'm not saying they did, guys. I'm just saying I suppose they could have, but there was no damage anywhere. The photos that she had taken showed like a broken picture frame and like spilled wine on the floor and stuff like that. But when they showed up, they said they didn't see anything. That doesn't mean that there wasn't damage somewhere around the corner. I don't know, but it did not look like this big, huge incident took place that she claimed that it did. And Amber wasn't cooperating. She didn't want to talk to them. She didn't want to fill out a police report. So because she wasn't cooperative, her friends weren't cooperative, the second set of police officers that showed up, they didn't even want them there. They didn't file a police report. Now her lawyers are like, well, why didn't you guys file a police report and blah, blah, blah. But they're like, because we saw no evidence of a crime that took place. If it doesn't look like a crime took place, why are we going to waste our time taking a police report? Like, these police officers, they have bigger things to worry about. Like, they have severe domestic violence cases to worry about. They don't have time to sit in Johnny Depp's penthouse and beg Amber Heard to write a police report.
My name is Alejandro Romero. I go by Alex.
What is your current occupation?
I work at the front desk of the Eastern Columbia building.
This witness testimony was just hilarious to me. Like, he was driving off. He was driving off and vaping in the middle of it.
So the incident was May 21st, 2016. You saw her the night of May 25th, correct?
Correct.
You said that you saw Amber Heard hundreds of times while she was there. Did Amber Heard treat you well, and was she friendly to you in each of these hundreds of times?
Yes. I'm not gonna say no because she was really always nice.
All right, this is my last.
Be nice.
But I mean, he was real. He was acting like a human being that was just over all of this. He also said, I didn't see anything on Amber's face. He saw her multiple times after this incident. There was no bruises on her face.
I remember, because like I say, I always make eye contact with someone that I'm talking to, but I'm not looking to find something like oh, your makeup's wrong, you haven't have to change your eyebrows, or your eyelashes are not even, or I'm not looking for anything. I'm just looking at their eyes, and I'm not looking for anything else. But if I see something, I probably will remember.
He doesn't have any loyalty to Johnny Depp. Like, there's no reason for him to say anything in favor of Johnny. And again, it just comes up with the topic. Could you tell that she didn't have any makeup on? Could you tell that she wasn't wearing this? Could you tell that she wasn't wearing that? Blah, blah, blah. And he's just basically like, you can cover up a bruise with makeup, but like, you cannot cover up swelling. There was nothing on her face. Remember, like I said, when she went and filed the restraining order, it was shining bright like a diamond. Like, it was boom right there. She looked pale, her lips were washed out. Not to mention, she clearly jumped to file for divorce before Johnny Depp. Now, I just want to say my thoughts on this. Now, this is just my opinion about this. I'm not claiming this is what it is. I'm just saying my thoughts after this whole thing. So take it as you will. But it looks like to me, she knows how she treated Johnny Depp in this relationship. She also knows that there was a lot of recordings in this relationship. She has said on numerous occasions that her reputation is everything. She also seemed incredibly insecure just based on witness testimony. She doesn't want to look bad. She knew Johnny was going to file for divorce, so she went and filed first. Then she filed a restraining order with this bruise on her face, knowing the countless times she has hit him, thrown things at him, left him with bruises. She knows this. It really looks like, and I'm not saying this is what it is, it looks like she potentially, allegedly, had paranoia. What if Johnny says something? What if it gets out what I've done? I need to file for divorce before he does it. I need to file for a restraining order before he does it so that I look like the victim. That's just my thoughts at this moment. Again, remember, she's supposed to share her testimony. We're going to be hearing from her witnesses this week. Now, here's the thing. This goes along with her really caring about her image and her reputation. So when she initially filed for divorce, there was a lot of things that she was wanting from Johnny Depp. It was like $50,000 a month in spousal support. She wanted $10,000 for stuff like gifts and $10,000 for things like grooming and pet supplies. I had 4 cats at one point. Never did it cost $10,000 for pet supplies, but I don't know where she is getting them. A bougie pet smart, I don't know. She wanted $10,000 for her rent, and she wanted all of her attorney fees covered. She also wanted his Range Rover with him continuing to make the payments on it, and she wanted 3 of his penthouses with him paying the mortgages and the utilities. That's a lot. Like, she was like, I am taking it all. And what do you need 3 penthouses for unless you want to like move your whole family in? You know what I'm saying? So Amber Heard actually ended up in total with $14 million from Johnny Depp, with all of the legal fees and everything by the end of their divorce. And once everything was finalized, it was a total of $14 million. That is a lot of money. That's almost $1 million a month of their marriage. Are you kidding me? Not to mention, one of the really big fights they had right after they got married was because Johnny Depp wanted to sign a postnuptial agreement so she couldn't get a dime. She got almost $1 million per month of their marriage from Johnny Depp, not including all of the things that he was financing when they were married. Also, she demanded this all be tax-free so that she didn't have to pay taxes on the $14 million that she got. So when this came out, because it didn't look good in the public that because at the time originally people thought it was just 7 million. We just recently learned in this trial that it was more than 7 million. It was 14 million once everything was said and done. But originally, way back when this was going on, people thought it was $7 million. It made her look really bad. She said she was gonna give half of it to one charity, half of it to another charity. She was in an interview saying that she didn't want anything. Because again, self-proclaimed, her reputation is very important to her.
All kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this, and then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money, but then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital.
So it sounded better, like, okay, she's gonna be donating these to charities. She's getting up there looking around at everybody to see their reaction as she's saying these great charities she's donating to. But instead of having it go into the charity's account, she demanded that the money go directly into her account first. And there was back and forth before the trial where this was an issue that was being brought up, and I remember reading about it. She was alleging that, you know, she was supposed to pay it over time so that the $7 million would be given to them over a span of time as opposed to given to them all at once. But a bunch of the donations that they received over time didn't even come from her. They came from Elon Musk, Johnny Depp. Apparently Amber only contributed $350,000 of the $3.5 million. Now, another interesting thing that was brought up was the op-ed, because remember, this case, this trial, even though we are learning a lot and it's very important to hear all of this for context to the situation, but what Johnny Depp is actually suing her for is the op-ed, trying to prove that it basically defamed him, and then her legal team is trying to prove that it didn't because it didn't have his name in it. It was proven that it had previously been extremely descriptive, that it was Johnny Depp. It talked about the restraining order, it talked about the marriage, but it was edited to take Johnny out of it. They edited it to make it as much about Johnny as possible that they couldn't get in trouble for it. Well, I mean, look what's happening now. But their thought process was, Let's put just enough in here about Johnny so that the public knows that it's about Johnny, because it'll do better. But take anything out that basically puts you in jeopardy of your NDA. And then even more gross, it was discussed that the timing of this op-ed be published around the release of Aquaman, the movie that she was in. Not only did she try to get all this money from Johnny Depp in the divorce, after the divorce, but she was still trying to profit off of the situation with him by writing this op-ed and timing it around the release of her movie so that the movie would do better. Girl, it just keeps getting nastier and nastier. I mean, this girl abused Johnny Depp, got millions of dollars off of him. Years later, tried to profit off of their relationship again with the timing of this op-ed release, and continues to try and manipulate the public into feeling as though she's the victim. And Johnny asked her to handle this privately. She didn't want to, because of her reputation. Now she's firing her PR team because she thinks the press is going to help her. One of Johnny Depp's bodyguards testified that he saw a lighter get thrown off of him and bounce off his chest. He also saw, he said he couldn't remember if it was a Coke or a Sprite, get thrown across the room and hit this like hand or claw that was holding up like a huge TV that Johnny Depp has. It hit it and just like started spewing everywhere. He said it was thrown with force.
Anyway, I got the text. I was down there to pick him up to go to the West Hollywood accommodation, and the door's ajar slightly, just a we call a crack in the door. Push the door open and I go in, shouting. There's a bit of shouting going on. I can't hear. I'm in the wrong area of the apartment. But as I turn to the left into the more of the lounge area, there's a soda can. Like I don't know if it's a Coca-Cola or a Sprite, or I don't know what it was, but it's launched from the mezzanine. And Johnny's had this huge TV, the biggest TV I've ever seen, in fact. But and it's on this mechanical arm, which is an actual piece of artwork that Johnny had got commissioned. And anyway, this big mechanical arm holds this TV. So this can of pop, you're going to call it pop, smashes on that, but by force, let me add, because it made a bang, boom, and all I can hear is it spraying all over the place. Johnny has already got his jacket on and a bag over his shoulder. That's why he's called me in, because we're leaving.
He said that Amber was always really nice to him, and at the beginning everything was great, but that she started to change. He described her as being feisty. I don't really bring up Amber's legal team when it comes down to their cross-examinations anymore, because it's been a repeat of the same thing. They bring up, well, are you on Johnny's payroll? Has he paid you? Do you get money from him? Do you get gifts from him? Because they're trying to be like, well, they're paid off. And I'm like, I can't listen to y'all's hypocrisy anymore, because you're paid by Amber. That makes everything you're saying biased. You're biased, Amber, so what you're saying doesn't matter either then. And then there was also Malcolm's testimony about Johnny Depp's injuries to his face, where I'm just gonna say it like it is. If we saw Amber's face in the condition of Johnny's in this photo, case closed. Case closed 1,000 times over, end of story. His face was brutal.
And that's Johnny. And I also noticed, if you look at that picture, like I said, on the left-hand side, under his eye, there's a swelling. And you see a swelling just on the left-hand side of his nose and under his left eye.
And what do you interpret that swelling to be?
What do I interpret it as? That's either he's walked into a door or a door's walked into him.
Okay.
Johnny Depp was abused by Amber Heard. He is a victim of domestic violence. I can't think of any person that would be able to be like stable and in their right mind and thinking clearly and living their best life and happy being with somebody like Amber. Can you picture anybody being the best version of themselves, constantly being talked to like this? I don't know what Amber's gonna say, but one thing I do know, Johnny has never had any of his previous girlfriends accuse him of this. He has never had his wife accuse him of this. You don't just become this way out of thin air. At least I don't think so. People who act like this have a history of acting like this. In fact, I found an interview from Amber Heard, and I'm gonna read it to you guys. Amber Heard was doing an interview about a movie that she was in. In the movie, she was describing that her character is a small town diner waitress with a bad attitude and a heart of gold. She said, "I loved it because she can carry the heart of the movie without compromising her badass, loudmouth, fist-throwing antics." Interviewer then asked Amber, "Did you have fight training?" Amber says, "Yes, I did a little bit." The stunt coordinator quickly learned that I didn't need much. Throwing punches and getting in bar fights is all part of coming from Texas. Hot rods, fist fights, and brawling, I've been around all that. I'm gonna leave it there. That is some of the things that I found notable about week 3 and also with some of the news that has come out. I'm blown away. As I said, maybe when this video goes up, Amber's on the stand now. I can't imagine what's out. I mean, I do have people that comment and it's a little frustrating. I call this the TikTok problem because I feel like when TikTok came out, people's attention spans, they got even worse. I feel like people don't really pay attention to everything. Not everybody. I'm not saying this about you, honey, but I feel like there's some people that just they don't have the attention span to listen to things in their entirety. So with that, I'm anticipating that many people did not make it here to this point of this video. But if you did, again, I just want to remind you that I don't know what's going to come out in the next 3 weeks. None of us do. This is just my opinion with what is out so far. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you go and click my playlist if you haven't yet so you can watch all my other videos on this. And I will be seeing you guys very soon for a recap of week 4, which I'm excited for week 4. All right, if you're excited for week 4, give this video a thumbs up and I'll be seeing you guys very soon.